loose. Byron Jones on the stop after a big carry out near the 40.
The Greenwich Spartans defeat the Chippewa Valley Badgers by a score of 16-13. Scott Smith is the head coach of the Greenwich Spartans, and Larry Zorn is the head coach of the Chippewa Valley Badgers. The Spartans' player of the game is all the halfbacks. Aaron Jones had 14 carries for 88 yards. Shaquan Barkley had 14 carries for 84 yards. Jeff Wilson had 3 carries for 29 yards. Teddy Bridgewater had another conservative game, completing 20 of 33 pass attempts for 140 yards, 1 TD, and 1 interception. Greenwich ran the ball 37 times for 204 yards with a 5.5 yard average. They were 9 of 15 on third downs. The Badgers were one-dimensional, with Tom Brady completing 18 of his 26 pass attempts for only 170 yards, no TDs, no interceptions. The Badgers ran only 9 times for 24 yards. CV was 1 of 8 on third downs and had only 11 first downs for the whole game. Tough game for the Badgers.
Delay and big running room. And headed to the end zone is Aaron Jones. Here it's second down and goal from the 4. Will try to throw it for the score. And they get it. Touchdown, Hawkinson. Coming on strong with 2 big catches in that scoring drive toward the end of the half. And now, with third down and 7.
The Emerald Isle Roadrunners defeat the Toronto Titans by a score of 31-17. Bob Middleman is the head coach of the Emerald Isle Roadrunners, and Rudy Gobbin is the head coach of the Toronto Titans. The Roadrunners quarterback, Matthew Stafford, is the player of the game. Stafford completed 25 of his 33 pass attempts for 245 yards. He had a 7.4 yard average per pass attempt. He had 1 TD and 2 interceptions. Halfback Ezekiel Elliott had another nice day. 21 rushing attempts for 89 yards with 3 big TDs. Elliott also led the team in receptions for the second week in a row, catching 8 passes for 55 yards. The Titans quarterback Jimmy G once again does the lion's share of the work on offense, completing 24 of his 39 pass attempts for only 177 yards. He did have 2 TDs with only 1 interception. For the second week in a row, superstar halfback Derrick Henry had only 14 rushing attempts for a measly 41 yards. Come on, Derrick, get in there. Show us what you got.
So, missing in action. Offensive threat is in the game right now and moves to the slot to the left on first down. And here is Stafford's pass, and it's caught, and it's touchdown time. Kenny Golladay.
Because he knows and sees what's happening.
It is indeed third down, and that throw is right on time.
The Jersey Jedis defeat the Florence Freedom by a score of 28-14. Shannon Harrison is the head coach of the Jersey Jedis, and Brandon Wright is the head coach of the Florence Freedom. New Jedis quarterback Mac Jones is the player of the game, hitting 21 of his 30 pass attempts for 204 yards with 3 TDs and 1 interception. Also new to the Jedis is the starting halfback Elijah Mitchell, rushing 13 times for 93 yards. Wide receiver Stephon Diggs had 6 receptions for 91 yards and 2 TDs. Freedom quarterback Joe Burrow tried to put the team on his back, completing 22 of his 44 pass attempts for 244 yards with 2 TDs. Had it not been for his 5 interceptions, it might have worked. The running game was little help. 23 rushing attempts for only 80 yards. Better luck next week.
White releases, they go the other way. Caught by Myers into the secondary and up into the...
Better than he was before. Better, stronger, faster.
But every
That's
town,
at the NCAA's listening.
every town of about 10,000 has a Division I college football program. Dalvin Cook is ahead and maybe into the end zone.
The Brooklyn Stars defeat the Portland Storm by a score of 19-0. Vincent Mancini is the head coach of the Brooklyn Stars, and Windsor Cooper is the head coach of the Portland Storm. The Stars halfback Dalvin Cook, the $7 million man, is the player of the game. His 22 rushing attempts for 129 yards and 1 TD led all rushers. Najee Harris added 10 rushing attempts for 55 yards. Quarterback Derek Carr completed 26 of his 32 pass attempts for 176 yards, no TDs and 1 interception. Not flashy, but consistent. Storm's quarterback Justin Herbert had a very tough day, completing only 13 of his 30 pass attempts for a modest 107 yards, no TDs, and 3 costly interceptions. Halfback Josh Jacobs had 11 rushing attempts for 62 yards. Not much help from the running game.
Without a takeaway. Hoping to slow down Dalvin Cook, but they can't.
On 2nd and goal. Pitch play to the rookie. Williams, day late, and he's in. Touchdown.
The Detroit Middies defeated the Eau Claire Rockers by a score of 21-9. Michael Stuckey is the head coach of the Detroit Middies, and Steve Brandvold is the head coach of the Eau Claire Rockers. The player of the game is the Middies halfbacks. 31 rushing attempts for 184 yards with 1 TD. Matt Ryan was very efficient, but not overly productive. Ryan completed 21 of his 30 pass attempts for only 111 yards with 1 TD. Tyreek Hill had 6 receptions for an embarrassing 30 yards. Rockers quarterback Jared Goff played well today, completing 17 of 28 pass attempts for 186 yards, but no TDs, and no interceptions. Mike Evans had 7 receptions for 92 yards. The run game was little help. 18 rushing attempts for only 57 yards. You guys got to do better. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball!
The second 3 on his jersey, I would have thought that was Terrell Davis with the way that he burst around that corner. And then to finish it off.
The expulsion for the game for Harrison. 1st down and 10. Mahomes, after all of that, he comes out firing. And he finds Tyreek Hill for a big gain inside the 20.
The Memphis Mafia defeat the Washington Redskins by a score of 25-17. Jay Villing is the head coach of the Memphis Mafia, and Andrew Jatso is the head coach of the Washington Deadskins. Mafia quarterback Patrick Mahomes is the player of the game. He was not mistake-free, but did a great job pushing the ball up the field, completing 19 of his 31 pass attempts for 253 yards, 2 TDs, and 3 interceptions. The halfbacks did their share, 26 rushing attempts for 135 yards and 1 TD. Deadskins quarterback Josh Allen fell back into his old ways, completing only 17 of his 38 pass attempts, 1 TD, 1 interception. The running game only added 98 yards on 16 rushing attempts. Too much workload on Josh Allen cost the Deadskins this game. Allen was sacked 5 times. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks had 7 receptions for 80 yards and 1 TD.
Mr. Courtney Nance or Mr. Jim Nance?
Real old guys on that left side. 2nd and 1. On the run. Wide open again is Hill. Getting lost in the secondary.
And Prescott was happy about that. 2nd down and 9. Swing it to the outside. Elliott stays in bounds, and Zeke's going to take it all the way in for a touchdown. So Zeke Elliott, a guy they want.
The Sheboygan Mashers defeat the Texas Gunslingers by a score of 29-17. Mark Flasher is the head coach of the Sheboygan Mashers, and Randy Leeper is the head coach of the Texas Gunslingers. The Mashers' offense was average at best. Quarterback Dak Prescott completed 17 of his 30 pass attempts for 197 yards, 1 TD, and 2 interceptions. The Mashers' halfbacks ran 18 times for 72 yards. James Conner did have 2 TDs. The Mashers' defensive secondary picked off 4 passes from the Gunslingers, 1 every time the Gunslingers threatened to take the lead. Cornerback Jalen Ramsey had 2 picks this game. The second, he ran back 91 yards for a TD. The Gunslingers were down 20-7 early in the third quarter, so they pulled quarterback Russell Wilson, replacing him with Carson Wentz. Despite the interceptions, Wentz cut the lead to 4 points, 23-17 with 9:36 left in the fourth. Ramsey ran Wentz's third interception back 91 yards to seal the victory for the Mashers. I've been working a lot of overtime over the last couple days, so I had to slim this one down. I just threw it together really fast. Next week I'll try and add some more bells and whistles. We do have an interview with the Gunslingers head coach after the game coming up right after this. Thank you.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
You finished?
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Prescott gonna throw it deep. We get a penalty flag flying. Gallup leap